Welcome to my Rotary Life Garage. I guess it's time for my other RX8 to get some attention. So it's quite likely that the clutch bracket must have developed a crack. This happens a lot with these RXs. This is an '07, and you got a lot of duty cycles on the clutch, and so eventually it develops a fatigue crack. It's a known issue. The part's not terribly expensive. It's like about 150, 160 bucks on. Um, you got to get it from the dealership or a few other Rotary parts stores. Of course, you can get it from the auction website. But anyways, I have learned a few skills from my other partner to do some welding stuff, and I decided why not utilize that skill and see if we can get this thing to work. And if the welding works, then the clutch can be good, and I don't have to buy a part. And another buck saved for the other project that you guys have been following with me. So let's get started. We'll jump in. I'm gonna get the clutch out. Now there's plenty of videos out there that explain how to take the clutch out. It's pretty simple. It's three bolts, one on the top and two on the front where it attaches the master cylinder. So yeah, let's get started on this, and we'll get the bracket out, and then I'm gonna get it onto the welding stand, and we'll just gonna go ahead and weld the crack, and we'll put it back together.
All right, so I got it all set up for welding. I have the video set up for you guys. I have aligned the crack as closely as possible that I could, and I'm about to get the wheel wire brush and kind of clean the surface so that the mating surface is clean for a nice weld, because we want to make sure the weld holds. My plan is to tack weld here first. I'm just gonna do a quick tack weld right there and then come back and kind of readjust this. I just don't want this to move. So the first is I'm repairing this plate. It's independent of the back plate and it's held by rivets. It's only held by this rivet, and so what ends up happening is the long time of pushing this paddle. Of course the clutch is actuated multiple times, much more than the brakes are. So eventually there's a fatigue fracture right there. Now I don't know how long this will hold, but I'm willing to take a chance. Put a tack weld here first, weld this part right here, do a thin weld right there, and then come back and then tack this part to the back plate as well, because they're supposed to be one unit together. I'm going to take the wire brush again and try to clean that part so the flux is all cleaned out. Okay. Now can move this further in and get it well supported like that. And I'm going to come in and tack weld the bottom portion right here. Good news is that this doesn't have to be extremely precise, nor does that have to be super clean. Of course you can come back and polish that off, make it all flat. And I also do want to come back and basically weld this to that plate. Okay. Let's clean that out. It's fantastic. Now, I don't think this plate is strong enough to have a huge welding, but I was thinking maybe we'll put some tacks around these three areas, and this where the back plate is strengthened. And I'm wondering if I should just go ahead and preemptively put some tacks on this side as well. In some areas that I see could be strengthened, because basically your clutch actuation is, puts a lot of pressure on the back plate, and the lateral movement can also cause the fatigue crack to go right through. So now I'm going to just come around and do a few tacks there. Just tacks. I'm not going to go right like a weld like that I just closed this crack with, but just come in and put some tacks right there, and on top. Alright, gonna just come around and clean all this up, and that should do this side. So this ain't going nowhere now. And I believe because we've tacked it on this side as well, you have preventing it from moving it laterally like this, and so I think it should behave a lot more, like have more structural strength. I mean, other than this, I would have just put a additional plate right there. I think that's overkill. I thought about that before, but I do think that's an overkill, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. And now we can come around and do the same right here. You can see how it's separating out. Basically it's held by just one rivet here and one rivet there, and that's how this plate is mounted. I think it's structurally really weak, the way this plate gets set up here, and so it's destined for a failure. I'm surprised that it didn't fail even before this. So let's just spot weld this stuff. I think that should do it. So let's come in and clean this up. Mazda RX8 clutch assembly redone. And there you go. I'm just going to put it back in, and that should also protect that should also help protect this weld right here. So we got 3 spot welds right there, and then we fixed the crack that went right through here.
Installing back is pretty simple. Just the mounting bolts go into the master cylinder here, the two of them, they go on right there. So we'll go take a look from the inside of the car, and I'll show you how the bolts are holding the clutch bracket in. So you'll notice that those are our 3 tack welds that we did on the right side, and there's the nut that goes straight into the oil master cylinder. And then on the others, the bottom one just is a plastic retainer. You may or may not have it. If you look at the other side, you'll see there's the second bolt that comes through and attaches directly to the master cylinder as well. And then there's one more bolt on the top, and there it is. From this angle, you can see that it's up there, where it attaches the clutch bracket to the top part. So those are the 3 bolts.
So we've been driving around for a while, test out the new clutch, and yeah, it's fantastic. I mean, it's gone back to where it was before the crack had developed, and it drives nice. It's absolutely sure, feels certain, and rock solid.